Very distinguished colleagues, the fourth order of the day is the second reading of the Proceeds of Crime Act Repeal and Enactment Bill 2025 SB 343. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read for the first time in this hallowed chamber on Wednesday, 14th February 2024. Mr. President, you may wish to invite most distinguished Senator Adebule Idiat to move the motion for the bill to be read a second time.
Yes, Idiat Oluranti.
Mr. President, my name is Idiat Oluranti Adebule. I represent the good people of Lagos West. It's indeed my pleasure to lead the debate on the Proceeds of Crime Recovery Management Bill 2025 SB 343. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, permit me to lead the debate on a bill for an act to amend the Proceeds of Crime Recovery and Management Act 2022, number 16. The bill, among other things, seeks to establish an agency to manage assets and properties reasonably suspected to have been derived from unlawful activities to create transparency, accountability, and to ensure adequate protection for the recovery items. Paragraph 2, paragraph 3 talks about the background to the bill in question. And so, I will go to the fourth paragraph. This overlapping responsibility make efficiency. However, this enormous responsibility in the Proceeds of Crime Act 2022 has been assigned to different agencies of government in Section 4 of the Act. These agencies refers to in the Act as relevant organizations are all charged with the responsibility to investigate, detect, identify, and recover assets and prosecute the unlawful activities as contained in Section 2, 3, and 4. By these provisions, Mr. President, in the overlapping of these roles of this investigator, prosecutor, executor, and exercising powers of recovery and management of proceeds of crime. This overlapping responsibility make efficiency, transparency, and accountability difficult in the discharge of the core mandate of these relevant agencies, thereby depriving our country of the full benefit of establishing them. It's also making it difficult to have standardized mode of engagement on recovery and management of these assets across the 18 organizations. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it is against this background that I present this amendment bill, which seeks to divest the function of recovery and management of proceeds of crime from the core functions of those 18 organizations to give them effectiveness, efficiency, and focus. The authority granted these 18 relevant agencies listed in Section 82, which include the EFCC, Nigerian Customs Services, ICPC, and other coalition of different law enforcement and security entities, enabled each organization to create proceeds of crime directories that operate and deal with recovered proceeds of crime independently without proper coordination and standardization. This situation is therefore a sure path. Is it a sure path? Is therefore a sure path to manage all assets? Yes, thank you. Consequently, this subsisting coordinated environment presents a fertile ground for corruption and abuse of the proceeds adopted in the management of recovered assets, which is required by Nigerians at different times when expressing their frustration about transparency and accountability in the management of recovered proceeds of crime, thereby lending credence to the position canvassed by this bill that the management of proceeds of crime should be separated from the duties of agencies responsible for the investigation, prosecution, and recovery of proceeds of crime assets. To this end, this amendment hopes to ensure transparency, check and balances in the management of recovered assets designated as proceeds of crime, as well as the introduction of policies and guiding principles that create unified regulations and processes for the management and disposal of the forfeited assets. Establish an agency vested with the administration and management of forfeited or recovered assets and properties designated as proceeds of crime. This centralization agency will be charged with the responsibility to collaborate with the directorates of proceeds of crime in the 18 agencies of government. Distinguished colleagues, to further strengthen the Proceeds of Crime Act with amendments that will provide for the creation of a data bank for all assets and properties that are proceeds of crime forfeited to the federal government of Nigeria under an automated forfeited asset management system. This provision will be a significant addition to an automated asset forfeited management system that will restore information about all the assets and properties that are proceeds of crime in a way that will grant control accessibility to authorized institutions and agencies for the promotion of effectiveness, efficiency, transparency, and accountability. Furthermore, the bill advocates that the function of the relevant agencies should stop at investigation, prosecution, and recovery of assets and properties that are proceeds of crime, while the effective holding, management, disposal of the recovery assets and properties should be discharged through an independent agency of government charged with responsibility under the Act. It must be mentioned that the provision of Section 3E that mandates the 18 agencies to work with the Federal Ministry of Justice is limited only to negotiating the repatriation of all assets seized from foreign countries and does not satisfactorily address the issue of effectiveness, efficiency, transparency, and accountability. Mr. President, distinguished colleague, it's imperative at this juncture to reference that the amendment being sought for the proceeds of crime recovery management and disposal of recovered assets of crime is mirroring the practice in several other jurisdictions like the United Kingdom, United States, Australia, and South Africa, to mention a few, where recovered assets that are proceeds of crimes are managed in more organized manner with effectiveness, efficiency, transparency, and accountability. These are a sample of countries that have separated the responsibilities of prosecution of illicit activities and recovered of assets that are proceeds of crime from the management and disposal has been proposed by this POCA amendment bill. Distinguished Mr. President, distinguished members, the speedy passage of this bill, with your support, will not only confirm our readiness to strengthen and refocus the country institutions charged with the responsibility of prevention, detection, and prosecution of illicit and corrupt practices, but will also ensure that monies and assets recovered from such activities that are proceeds of crimes are accounted for, managed judiciously, and plowed back to the economy for the growth and development of our country. In conclusion, Mr. President, dear colleagues, I thank you all for your kind attention and solicit your support for the second reading of this bill. I so submit.
Thank you, Senator Abulingi. You have the floor to make your contribution in respect of this bill.